So thank you guys. So we are back again. This is Erudite Educational Consult. So this is the third class on the resultants of more than two vectors. Now look at the question. Calculate the resultants of the five coplanar forces of values 10 Newton, 12 Newton, 16 Newton, 20 Newton, 15 Newton acting on an object at O. That means this point O. Acting on an object at O as shown below and find the direction. Now, this is serial number. How many forces do we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the first force, 10 Newton. So you put it here. This N here, it stands for the unit of force, which is Newton. The F stands for force. Then the second force, we have 12 Newton. You put 12. Since you have put Newton here, you don't need to write 10 Newton, just write 10. Or you can clean this one and put 10 Newton, 12 Newton. Then the third force, 20 Newton. So you have 20. Then the fourth force, 16 Newton. So you have 16 and then 15 Newton. So I believe you understand the forces. Now let's now go to theta. Theta means the direction at which they are acting with that point O. So remember in the last class, I think in the first class, that this is 0 and this is 90. So here now, the angle here is 0 degrees. So you put here 0, can put 0 degree, or from here put 0 degrees, anyone, you are still correct. Just know that your unit is very, very important. Now look at this place now, the second force. Here is 50 degrees. So you now ask yourself, is it starting from the right position or not? So I told you the first quadrant, you read it like this. You read like this. So since you are reading like this, so it's starting from the right position. You are not going to minus 90. Then you leave it like that. So you have it as 50 degrees. Now, the third force, this is the problem. The third force, some of you, okay, check, okay, this one is not a problem. This one is not a problem. You ask yourself, this place and this place are the zeros on the topic, this place and this place. Now here now, is it starting from 0? When you read like this, yes, it's starting from 0. That means you are not still going to do minus 90. You still use the angle as 40 degrees. Now look at the third one. So this is from here to here. So you read from like this to this place. So this is on 90. Go and check the previous notes. Here is 90. So that means the angle there is 90 degrees. So don't forget, or preferably before you start, you can write here that this is 0 degrees, and I'm reading like this. And to get to this place, 90 degrees. This is also 0 degrees, so I'm reading like this. So don't forget that. Those points are very important. Now look at the hand. This is the problem here. If you are not careful, in this place, it's 30 degrees. But when you look at it, it's not starting from the right place. It's starting from the wrong place. So they want to understand if you know the topic or not. You want to understand if you know it or not. So now you look at it here. You are expected to do minus 90 because this is the 0, this is 90. You are expected to read down like this. And what they've done for you, they read up like this. So you are expected to do 90 minus 30. So 90 degrees minus 30 degrees. That will give you 60 degrees. That means the angle here is 60 degrees. Once you have made this mistake, then everything is wrong. You will get it wrong. You might just be giving some marks for these steps. So that means the angle here is 60 degrees. So you are going to the next step now. This is fx cos theta. I must have told you in the previous class, fx cos theta is the horizontal force, the horizontal component, or horizontal force, anyone. That is the horizontal component. So the formula is fx cos theta. Fx cos theta. The scope, I do use to know it. You can see this x look like c. So that is c cos, fx cos theta. Is that clear? So now your force is 10. So you first ask yourself, you talk about the sign first. Sign. This one, this 10 Newton is in the first quadrant. So anything in this quadrant are positive. You now ask that, you can say that horizontal component is talking about only cos. It's talking about only cos. You now check the cos here. The cos here, these are the cos here. Now the cos in this place is what? Is it positive or negative? So don't forget, just try to write it so that you remember. All science students takes chemistry. So now all, that means anyone here, either sine, either cosine is positive. That means these two here, they are in that place. So that means you have plus, then the first, f cos, the first is 10, then times cos 0. So now take your calculator, you punch it. So you take your calculator, you punch it. Those that know it already will know it. So you now just punch 10 times cos 0. So that will give you 0. It's to tell you that cos 0 is 1. Cos 0 is 1. Because you can see there is an horizontal component. So that is, you have your answer as plus 10. That is 10. Now let's go to the second one. That is one of 12 Newton. So you see also on the first quadrant, automatically is positive. So you put plus, this 12, cos 50. So just punch it direct. So 12 times cos 50. So that will give you 7.71. You don't need to write much. Just make it to two decimal place. 7.71. So that is 7.71. Now, the third one now, the one of first 20 Newton. So you can see, it's in this quadrant. And it's only sign that is positive. And you're talking about cos. So automatically it's negative. I'm going to have minus. That is minus 20 cos 40. Minus 20 cos 40. So you now punch that. Minus 20 times cos 40. So it's give you minus 15.32. So just write that. Minus 15.32. Minus 15.32. Now, the fourth one, 16. So you can see 16. And the theta is 90. You are talking of cos. You are talking of what? Cos. So that means you have read like this from this place to this place. You have read from here to this place. So that means it's in the third quadrant. It's in the third quadrant. So and moreover, so since in the third quadrant, what sign is that? That will give you negative. That is negative because in the third quadrant is only tan that is positive there. So you have negative. Then the first 16 cos 90. So that is minus 16 cos 90. So you now punch it. Minus 16 times cos 90. So if you have been doing it, cos 90 is 0. So to give you 0. So everything the answer there is 0. And then the third one, the fourth one rather, 15. You can see it's only cos that is positive there. And we're even talking about cos. So automatically you have positive. So 15. So f cos theta cos 60. So that is plus 15 cos 60. So you punch your calculator, 15 times cos 60. So that will give you 7.5. So 7.5. So now for you to now know the resultant, the resultant of the horizontal component, you now add all this together. That's you do 10 plus 7.71 plus, so that is now minus 15.32. So plus 0, either you put it, you not put it, you are still correct. Plus 0 plus 7.5. So that will give you 9.89. So that means the horizontal component, the resultant of the horizontal component is 9.89. Now, let's go to the vertical component. So we have the first one, 10 Newton. So that means these two, they are in the first quadrant. That automatically is plus. So you put plus. Now, the first is 10 sine, the theta is 0. So that will give you That is 0 degree. So you now punch it. What will you have when you what will you have when you punch it? When you punch 10 sine, so that will give you, that is 10 times sine 0, that will give you 0. So you have it as 0. Now the second one, the next one now, 12 Newton, angle is 50. You can see it's still in the first quadrant. So it will give you positive because it's still on the first quadrant. So that is plus the first 12 sine the theta 50. So you now punch it, you punch it, 12 times sine 50. So that will give you 9.19. So but don't forget to approximate to 9.19. So the third one, which is 20 Newton, you can see that it's only sine that is positive here. And you're talking about sine. So that means it's still positive. It's still positive. That means you still have your positive. So the first 20 sine the angle 40. So you now punch it, 20 times sine 40. 20 times sine 40 to give you 12. So don't forget to approximate. That is 12.86. So 12.86. 12.86. So now the other 90 is in the third quadrant and it's only tan that is positive there. Automatically the sign will be negative. So you have minus. So the first 16, so sine the angle 90. So if you have been doing it, you know what sine 90 will give you. So minus 16 times sine 90. So that will give you minus 16. To tell you that sine 90 is 1. So that will give you minus 16. So the last one too, this is 15 Newton. It's only cos that is positive there. Automatically sine will be negative. So you have minus the first 15 sine the angle 60 degrees. So that will give you, so you now punch it, minus 15 times sine 60. So that will give you minus 12.99. Just leave it there, minus 12.99. So that is minus 12.99. I believe you get that. Now let's calculate the horizontal and the resultant component of the resultant of the vertical component. So that is 0 plus 9.19 plus 12.86, then minus 16, then minus 12.99. So that will give you minus 6.94. That is minus 6.94. So this is the resultant of the horizontal component, resultant of the vertical component. Now let's get the resultant. Now look at it there. From here, you will know the direction. From there, you are expected to know the direction. But let's calculate the resultant component first. So the resultant component is square root of x squared plus y squared. So that is square root of 9.89 square plus minus 6.94 square. So the resultant component is square root of, so you punch 9.89 square. That will give you don't need to write everything, 97.81. Then plus this one you punch it. So for you not to make mistake, students do make mistake here. Don't go and just punch minus 6.94 square to give you wrong answer. You punch it minus open bracket minus 6.94 close bracket square. So that will give you 48.16. If you just type it wrongly, your answer will be wrong. So that will give you 48.16. Then you add it together, 97.81 plus 48.16. So it will give you 145.97. Then after that, you now look for the square root of answer. So just punch it square root of answer. So that will give you 12.08 Newton. So this is the resultant, that is the resultant force. So that is, the resultant force is 12.08 Newton. I believe you are getting that. Now let's talk about the direction now. Should in case you are asked to calculate the direction. So I wish you have used the other place, but no problem. Let's just continue here. So you have get the resultant. Now I want to calculate the direction now. So you want to calculate the direction. So now to calculate the direction, you can see this one is positive, this one is negative. So if you remember in the last class that we did the other time, so you go and go through it. So these are this is the quadrant. So x is positive, that means it's either here or here. And then y is negative, that means it's in this, it's fall in this place. So don't forget that here is plus plus, here is plus minus, here is minus plus, here is minus minus. That means it falls in this place. That means it will go like this. So that means you're going to have the direction starting from here, starting from point O, then it will go like this. Are you getting that? So you start from x first. So that means it's coming like this, like this. So your x-axis, that means it's positive. It first go like this. So that is 9.89. And then the y-axis, so minus 6.94. But you are not going to use the minus in calculation. Since you have put the diagram that it's coming down, automatically it has shown that it is negative. Then it has shown it is negative. Then you put your angle here. You can call it alpha. So look at the formula the other time, you have it. Then tan alpha is equals to opposite over adjacent. That is opposite over adjacent. Then tan alpha is the opposite, 6.94 over adjacent, 9.89. And if you follow the formula, so I gave you tan alpha is y over x. Tan alpha is equals to y over x. Then you punch this one. Tan alpha is 6.94. So let's punch it. 6.94 divided by 9.89. So that will give you 0 points. So that will give you 0.7017. So 0.7017. Then your alpha. Alpha, that is the angle, that is tan inverse. Some will call it tan inverse, some will call it arctan. But to get it on your calculator, you press shift tan 0.7017. So what is your angle? So you now press shift tan. You first press shift, then press tan. It will bring it as tan inverse 0.7017. So you have it as 35.06 degrees. 35.06 degrees. So that means this angle here is 35.06 degrees. Now, that should have been your answer. But because it's direction, there are two types of direction. Either the three-figure bearing direction or the acute angle bearing direction. Either you call it acute angle or you call it compass bearing direction. So now let's do that one here. So let's do that one here. Please don't forget, when you are not getting it, then you rewind, you pause. It's permitted. That is why it's an online. You pause, you rewind it, you listen again several times until you get it. So now I'll first talk about the three-figure bearing. That though bearing and distance is another topic on its own in mathematics. That is why if you don't know math, you have issue in physics. That's just the problem. Once you don't know math, you have issue in physics. So this one now, when you look at it, when you look at the direction, I'm talking about the three-figure bearing first. I'm talking about the three-figure bearing. I'm talking about the three-figure bearing. So later, we'll still check notes, or we'll still send notes on three-figure bearing, on bearing on its own. So three-figure bearing, the major instruction of three-figure bearing is that it must start from north in clockwise direction. Start from north in clockwise direction. So if you have it like this, so this is the north, and then you already have this place as 35.06 degrees. So in three figure bearing, it must start from north in clockwise direction. That means from here to here is 90. So from here to here is 90. So that means the direction here, the direction is, you add it together. So that is 95120. Okay, let me write it. 90 plus 35.06. Are you getting that? So this will give you 0.06, 0 plus 5, that is 5, 9 plus 3, that is 12. So that is, the answer is 125.06 degrees. That is the direction. That is if you are going to leave the direction in three figure bearing. And if you are going to leave the direction in acute or compass bearing, that is the what physics do use majorly. Physics don't really use three figure bearing. They use the acute or compass bearing. So now, compass bearing. So compass bearing. The instruction in compass bearing is that the readings must start from north or south. Just like when we are doing this one. The readings must start from north or south. So the readings must start from north. Now what you have here, when we break it down, what we have is this place. What we have is 35.06. Then since the instruction says the readings must start from north or south, so in compass bearing is either you read like this, or you read like this, or you read like this, or you read like this. Now since you are given this place, what you really need is this place. This is what you really need. Then to get that place, you do 90 minus 35.06. So 90 minus 35.06, not to waste time. So 90 minus 35.06. So that will give you 54.94 degrees. So you are now going to put the direction. You can see this place is called the southeast. This place is southwest. This middle here is northwest. Here is northeast. So you must put it that the direction is south 54.94 degree east. So this is the direction of the question, and we have done the resultant of that before. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to comment, like, and share. Thank you. This is Erudite Educational Consult, a subsidiary of Popo Maths. Thanks you.